Our presenting sponsors for Hearts of Harvest Foundation are Brown Sand Inc. and Cal Freight. We would like to give a special thanks to our other presenting sponsor, Cal Freight. They have continuously supported Hearts of Harvest Foundation throughout the years, and we are so grateful for the generous hearts of the Sanders family. Brown Sand Inc. is proud to be one of the presenter sponsorships for Hearts of Harvest Foundation. Brown Sand supplies golf course sand, pea gravel, topsoil, sports field mix, playground sand, base rock, and environmental soil to developers, architects, and landscapers from our California facility. Since 1970, Brown Sand Incorporated has had the opportunity to work with many of the largest commercial and residential construction companies, golf courses, architects, sports field builders, and landscape professionals. Today, Brown Sand has supplied materials to over 200 golf courses and 50 sports complex arenas throughout California and northern Nevada. To learn more, visit brownsandinc.com. Our heart sponsors are Paul and Christine Andrews, the McCain families, the Veers family, and ERH Farms, LLC. Our harvest sponsors are C&G Farms, LLC, Costa Ag, Hoff Farms, RGW Equipment, River Islands, Mizuna Farms, and Galvo and Sons. Our vineyard sponsors are Casey's Bakery, New Miller and Beardsley, Byron and Christine Alvarez, the Sterling Companies, and Postman. Welcome to our 2021 virtual event. We are so glad you're here. My name is Haley Fields, and I am the Vice President of Hearts of Harvest Foundation. In this presentation, you'll be hearing about our 2021 event sponsors. You'll also be hearing from a few of our other board members. Most importantly, you're going to be hearing from two families, and you'll be getting a glimpse into their life and how Hearts of Harvest has helped their families. And of course, at the end, you'll get the opportunity to bid on our silent and live auction items.
Hi, I'm Becky Brown, Volunteer Director of Hearts of Harvest Foundation since I think 2001.
Hi, I'm Pam McCain. I am long-time volunteer and treasurer of Hearts of Harvest. I'm going to begin by telling you a little bit of how Hearts of Harvest got started. Way back when my daughter was born with a heart condition, I found support at the hospital through different organizations, and I felt like I wanted to create that support in our little community of Tracy. So I started a small support group with the help of the hospital, Sutter Tracy Hospital, and I put an ad in the paper, invited families who might have children with heart defects to come visit. And I had a handful of families. We did this every other month. I think it was, maybe once a month for a little while, and Becky answered the ad and came to one of our meetings, and from there we got together using her brain power of fundraising and my passion to reach families so they're not alone in this fight, I would say, with heart disease and congenital heart defects. We developed Hearts of Harvest.
Early fundraising for this organization, like any new business, it takes invitations to your friends and your business associates. It takes persistence. You just basically invite them to give to your organization, but tell them a powerful story, which we have many powerful stories with our own children. It takes about 5 to 10 years to build your donor base, so you can't only ask once, it's twice or 3 times. And basically over time, then you build a healthy donor base. Predominantly, we know that volunteers come and go in any organization, but the 3 founders have remained loyal and committed to one another for the greater cause of the organization. So I think it was in 2014 where we realized that it's time to start training up and recruiting a younger leadership team for the organization. So just so thankful that we have Gina and Haley and Megan and Laura to take the foundation into this 3rd decade. Volunteers is what Hearts of Harvest is all about. We couldn't do it without the volunteers.
We've been asked to share a few stories, impactful stories of our journey through Hearts of Harvest. And I'm going to start with a beginning one, even before Hearts of Harvest. I was pregnant with my heart child, Samantha. And my really good friend Bonnie had an organization, Tots of Tracy, which is a play group. My daughter was born. The next week, I didn't go to the play group because I was with my daughter at the hospital right after heart surgery. My son and my husband went to the play group. Bonnie found out about what our family was going through. And that night, we had food. Sorry, I'm gonna get emotional. Just think about it. I had food on my doorstep waiting for me. And it was just touched my heart. So I didn't want anyone ever to feel so alone like I had before. Bonnie reached out, and that was why we started Hearts of Harvest.
When I think about impactful things over the years, those that have passed on in our organization that have meant so much, and Bonnie's husband Dana was the first one that passed on, and he built our first playhouse to put in an auction, and it brought in lots of dollars, and then he passed in 2004. And what we did is the Souzas got it, so we asked the Souzas to give it back to us so we could give it to Bonnie and her kids because it meant so much to them. It was something that he made from his hands. So Pam and Steve and Robert and I think the Nunes family, we built another playhouse to give back to the donors that actually got the original one that Dana had built. So that was a special time. Janice Pittman, who we named JP Matters of the Heart Fund after, she passed. She was my best friend, and she was the catering chair of the event that year, and she passed unexpectedly at a young age, and she loved children. So we developed a fund that would help children with any health crisis, not just heart kids. And then, of course, my in-laws, Budge and Arlene Brown, who were definitely very instrumental as financial backers in the beginning years of Hearts of Harvest Foundation. And they believed in what we were doing. And that was, I don't think we'd be as healthy as we are today without their contributions, as well as many of your contributions. There's others. Sarah Lee Amos is a heart child who I think passed at 21, a daughter of Karen, and Charlie Lee Amos had a Livermore, and that was impactful because she's one of us. There was my father just passed, and he passed in 2020, and he created our logo, and we still have it today. Pam's wearing one of the pendants, and it's held its own, up to date, and he contributed many of his art contributions to auctions. I may be missing some, but I think those were impactful situations. And then just our partnerships have been impactful. We've created, and it takes time to develop partnerships, and it takes energy put into those relationships, but Healthy Connections, Downtown Tracy, who find the families that need the help, like as Pam said, so they're not so alone. And Sutter Tracy Community Hospital, we have the bag program that we started, and we give them bags, the families, when their kids are transported to a specialty hospital, and it lets them know that we care at a time that is really needed. Now I'm going to get worked up because when you're going through a crisis, people reach out, and it does matter. It really does matter, and your mind may be a million different places, and you feel like you're falling off the wagon, but it does matter. Being through it with a child, and you all, I'm sure, being gone through with the trouble. So those partnerships, and I wanted to mention a couple other partnerships. Camp Taylor as well, who's a local camp, and they send heart kids to there for free. She's building her own camp now, fulfilling a dream. Kimberly Gamino has been a great partnership for us as well. And Lucille Packard Stanford has helped thousands and thousands of kids. Leading to the next impact, which would be that we've, with 11 events, fundraising events, and all you wonderful donors, we've been able to gift $857,000 and invest. Some of that's invested. That's being smart for down the road, gifted to help families and children with heart disease or otherwise. So that's been a huge impact, just thousands of families. So
And talking about impact, I just want to wrap it up with saying it's big and small. We have some really loyal families that send us $50, $100, $150 every single year since the beginning that we started this. And those dollars, every one of them, there's passion and emotion behind it. And we are just so thankful for each and every one of them.
Yeah. I've always thought giving is just a surrender of a greater cause. And Pammy and I think agree, and Bonnie and the rest of our leadership team, the young ones, we're just going to keep giving of our hands to serve and loving with our hearts as well, so that we can make a difference in the life of so many families that are struggling with kids that have heart defects.
Definitely.
You heard me mention my best friend Janice Pittman a little bit earlier, and why we named JP Matters of the Heart Fund after her. And I think she was part of the inspiration, but also when my son was going through a crisis and needed a new heart, and I saw so much pain and cancer patients and leukemia patients while I was there. And I in my hearts of all hearts, I think, I don't know when we started JP, maybe 6 years later or something, but I just felt we can't limit it just to heart kids, and this would be a way to keep some of the money that's all coming from predominantly local money, you all, to keep the money in our own community. So it was kind of doing both. It was fulfilling both goals, to help beyond heart kids and keep the money that's being donated to the foundation in our own community.
Yeah, and Hearts of Harvest in general, when we give money to heart families, we are well aware heart families do not receive most of the services in our community. The hospitals doing surgeries are in UCSF, Stanford, Children's Oakland. I believe there's some in Valley Children's, and also up in Sacramento. So those families we're supporting, they're from our community, but the money is helping a greater need beyond our community. And that's why JP Matters of the Heart was created, to help the need within our community.
Yeah,
so there's a good balance in the programs that we have.
I think it's cool because it kind of defines philanthropy, because we're still, we help the hospital. We gave the hospital a $12,000 grant recently, to buy COVID equipment, to help save a life. And that was kind of out of our realm, but it's like, why not? We're financially healthy, so let's help our own community in that way. So we can do both, so that's a blessing.
It is.
Pamela, the vision, oh my gosh, so the vision would be into the third and fourth decade, and I think I touched on that a little bit earlier about raising up a younger leadership team, and we're in the beginning stages of that, so I'm very grateful and thankful.
Are you saying we're not young anymore, Becky?
No, I'm not, you are.
Just kidding.
Yeah, I'd like to, I still have a passion to do the day-to-day operations, the mail pickup, the thank yous, and just keeping it going. But I'm not as driven to go after new donors. And we still need you all. We need young donors. We need new donors to keep the beat of Hearts of Harvest Foundation healthy. So that would be my vision moving forward.
Vision for Hearts of Harvest is to continue what we're doing, reaching out to the community, supporting the families that need it. We do that by referrals, people that hear us, know our name, hear about their neighbor or their cousin or their relative that might have a child in health crisis, and send them our way. Also, someone who's very passionate, we can use the volunteers, and of course, always the donation dollars. So all the support you give, know that it is so appreciated. And we consider your money, we keep it as safe as possible. We guard it carefully, and we spend it thriftily.
That's to mention too that we are 100% volunteers. So we all work out of our own home offices, no gas allowance, no hotel allowance. I mean, your dollars go far. We're a very unique nonprofit, and I'm just proud to say how healthy we are and how blessed God has blessed this organization through the gifted leadership such as Pam and Bonnie, and the younger ones coming up, Gina Hoff, Haley Fields, Megan Smith, and Sharon, and I can't mention all of them because we have a great pool of volunteers, the Noonses, I can go on and on, so forgive me if I don't mention all of our volunteers, but we love our volunteers. They make it happen.
I'm going to start by thanking you for attending this virtual event, something new for us. We're definitely willing to try new things here at Hearts of Harvest. We might be old dogs, but we're willing to give it a try. It's your support that we truly need here. Check out our auction and the fun things coming up. Becky, any other words?
Yeah, we have great auctions, and that's predominantly how we raise most of our money at our in-person events. And don't fret, we're going to have an in-person event again. So keep your chin up. It's going to happen again. It's just we want to keep you safe, and this is just a great way that we can virtually stay connected and fill you in on what we're doing. So check in with the auction weekly. It's going to be going for a week, as I understand it. So we want you to bid high, and just enjoy what's in there. I don't know what's in there, but I know it's good stuff. Oh, the brunch is coming back. The Divine Brunch is coming back.
Oh my
I
goodness.
probably didn't let you know that, but
awesome.
yes, I want the Divine Brunch to come back. So that's a good one. You're gonna be spoiled rotten with 10 of your best friends on my balcony overlooking the vineyard with lots and lots of goodies.
I'll be there to help.
I knew she'd say that. Yay, I need all the help I can get.
This is our opportunity to thank you. We miss greeting you personally. We miss looking at your face and smiling at you and saying thank you for being here. So take this heartfelt thank you from me and Becky. Thank you for showing up for Hearts of Harvest.
Ditto. Thanks everyone for showing up. We love you so much. We'd love to hug you. We will be hugging you, and just stay connected as we're going to stay connected with you all.
See you soon.
Hi, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Bonnie Smith. I guess you could say my claim to fame is that I'm Jake and Megan's mom, Jake being my heart son. Jake's heart defect was heard at birth and diagnosed when he was 3 weeks old. There are no words to describe how you feel when your child is in distress, let alone might die, but I can tell you that it forever changed my life. 27 years ago, Jake was born. At 3 weeks old, he had his first procedure. At 4 months old, his next procedure. 4 years old, his next procedure. 10 years old, he had his first open heart surgery. 21 years old, his second open heart surgery. 26 years old, his next procedure, with a whole lot of doctor appointments and cardiology appointments in between. Each one of these appointments lasted anywhere from a couple of hours to up to 10 days. I remember that there were times where we had met a family that was also in there. We went home and came back 4 months later, and that family was still there. I remember thinking how blessed I felt that A, we got to go home, but B, we were in the position of not having to worry how to pay our house payment or our other bills or our gas or even the parking at the hospital, which at that time was $25 a day, all of which are things that insurance doesn't cover. But this just isn't the case for some families. Some families are in there for months on end. So when I met Becky and Pam and discussions began for a fundraiser, I wholeheartedly said, I'm on board, count me in. If there's any reason behind me doing what I do with Hearts of Harvest, it's because I feel strongly that no family should worry about finances when they're already so worried about their child. I'm proud to be a part of an organization who has come alongside families to help pay their rent or their mortgage or food, childcare for the other children that are at home. In addition to that, we support a heart camp where all heart campers go for free. Jake told me that the thing that he loved the most about Camp Taylor was that it was the one place that he didn't have to explain the scar on his chest. Last but not least, we give money to each one of our hospitals. Research is essential for growth when it comes to any medical condition, but of course I'm partial to this particular medical condition. 20 years prior to Jake being diagnosed, we would have simply been told, take your child home and enjoy the days that you have left with him. Boy, am I thankful for research. So with my entire heart, I say thank you for being faithful supporters, for coming alongside of us and helping us come alongside other families. Enjoy your night.
One thing about Hearts of Harvest Foundation that I think is worth mentioning is that we are a 100% run volunteer organization, which means that 100% of the funds that we raise goes directly to our beneficiaries. I mention this because I think it's so important for our sponsors and our donors to know that we are being resourceful with their donations. We are making sure that the hard-earned money that they choose to give us is then in the hands of families who truly need it. Hearts of Harvest would not be what it is today without the countless support of local businesses and families over the last 20 years. We have a lot of families and a lot of donors who have given time and money. One of those families being the Brown family, and this is kind of an umbrella of people. This includes Budge and Arlene Brown, Christy Brown, and Robert and Becky Brown. All three of these families have a connection to a heart child, and they saw firsthand the need that these families go through while caring for a sick child. And they have made it a priority to continue to give to Hearts of Harvest, and that has impacted a lot of lives.
My name is Sarah Griffith. I have a daughter that was born prematurely at 27.5 weeks with bronchial pulmonary dysplasia and pulmonary hypertension. I remember getting a phone call from the hospital saying that she wasn't doing very well, and I remember getting in the car, rushing over, trying to not get in a car accident. When I walked into that room, they wouldn't let me see her until they started getting her stable. When I was able to come up to her and see her, my heart just dropped. When I first saw her walking into that room, when I was able to go up to her, I felt helpless. I felt like they wouldn't let me touch her yet. They wouldn't let me talk to her. All I could do was just sit there in that little incubator and just watch her struggle and watch her fight for her life and just try to survive. And it was just it was heartbreaking. It was helpless that I couldn't even just hold her and comfort her. At the time, I owned my own business. When I realized that I needed to be at the hospital more than I thought I was going to be, the bills kept coming in and I wasn't sure how I was going to stay afloat. When you have a child in the hospital, your main focus should be that child in the hospital. The stress alone is overbearing and you feel like you are drowning. And with an organization like Hearts of Harvest, it gives you a chance to breathe. It gives you a sense of comfort knowing that you have a supportive family, because they do become family once they help you. You can't really say thank you or have that meant, because saying thank you isn't enough. I feel having that support means more to a parent than any words can describe, and I am forever grateful.
Not only have we had long-term donors over the last 20 years, but we have had countless volunteers help with events. It would be impossible for me to list every single person who has donated their time. We know that charity work is hard work, and all of our volunteers are sincere and genuine and truly have a heart for our mission. If you have any interest in joining our team, or you just want to learn more about our foundation, please do not hesitate to reach out. We're always looking for new team members. As you heard tonight from a few of our cherished families, the money raised tonight will make a huge impact in our communities. We have a lot of great items for you to bid on, and that would not have been made possible without all the local businesses and families who donated these items. So, happy bidding. A huge thanks to all of our sponsors for our 2021 virtual event.